Hello, dear friends. My name is Pingaksh, and welcome again after a long time to Rang-e-Lucknow, your own channel. So, lately I've been busy for some reasons, but I was thinking to start something new on this channel for everybody. So, recently I was going through something and I heard a story. So I thought, why should we not start with stories? Not stories of, very, uh, very simple stories, not stories that you would, it's not like quantum physics, it's the story of you and me and of the old times, of the kings, of the maharajas, of the princes, of gods and demigods, and so on. These stories, what they did, I used to remember that when I was very small, my Naani ji and my mother used to tell me stories, and I listened to them sleeping in their lap, putting my head and imagining that the story was going, and I was at the same time imagining. So this was a culture in India, and everywhere in the world. I think anywhere it can be. So I just want to start this section because the difference between a story and the story has the stories have taken uh, upon has been have been taken upon by these medias and mobiles and series and movies and all, animation and things like that. But story is a very basic thing, was a very basic thing for entertainment. So I am going to start this section of old stories, Dada Dadi ki kahaniyan, as you must have heard. And these are not very new stories. These are all old stories. You might all or most of you people must have heard these stories, but I would suggest that you tell these stories to your children because they teach you something good in your life. They push you to become a good person in life, and they teach you many things, many things uh, which we need to learn, which are not we're not being taught in our colleges and schools. These are things which life teaches us in a form of story, and the story becomes your life. Things happen sometimes. So this is a story I remember, not a very long, so don't worry. And if you like this section, I would request you to please subscribe and like, and also comment, so that I should continue with this section and come up with more interesting and good stories. So this story is uh, about a person. Long time ago, there was a very poor person, poor man, who used to cut woods in the jungle with his tool, and used to sell them. He was very poor and he was alone and he had nothing to do. He was very weak and frail, and this was the only thing he could do easily. So he every day he used to go to the jungle. There was a jungle nearby. It was a very dense jungle. He used to collect uh, the broken branches and also cut some of the dry branches and store them. I mean, make a bundle and bring them to the city market and sell them, and that was his way of living. he could merely make a meal or two by selling that, but that was his only job because he couldn't do anything else. He couldn't apply for a job, and he was illiterate, and which we call lakadahara in Hindi. He was that lakadahara, the person who survives by cutting wood. So once that happened, he was very unhappy with his condition. That he always prayed to God that please, I am not able to even make a meal. I mean, sell so much because I'm so weak. I cannot carry so much wood, and the money I get, I can only make get one meal once a day, and sometimes twice a day, but only merely very normal meals. So he prayed to God while he was going to the jungle one day, and he was alone everywhere in the jungle, and he was used to that. He was not afraid. There were trees, there were shades, there were all kinds of voices of animals, and you can imagine that a very dense forest, and a person walking by with a dhoti and barely naked on the upper body, and suddenly uh, he was chopping the wood, trying to chop the wood, and he got himself a little cut. So just he was he just saw that, and he became very happy. He started crying that, oh Lord, now if I'll get these kinds of things and cuts, how will I be able to uh, live my living by cutting wood, by chopping wood? So somebody answered out of the blue. It was said, Akashwani. It is imagined. Might happen nowadays also. You can try, but we believed as a children. We believed that yes, it should have happened. It must have happened. That somebody from the skies started talking to that person and said, "और आगे बढ़ो, और आगे बढ़ो," because there was a certain point. He went and he collected his woods and came back. He never went beyond that point because he used to get enough wood at that point. So he never tried to get more inside the density of the jungle. So that voice said, "Jungle में और अंदर जाओ और आगे बढ़ो," and he was amazed. Who's that? Who's that? And he didn't know what to do. There was nobody around, so he was also afraid that there might be some kind of ghost or something like that. But that voice was very clear and empathetic voice, a lovely voice. So he thought, no, this should be some kind of god, or I should try. He went inside the jungle. A few steps inside, his foot fell on a rock, and he just stood on that rock, and suddenly a fragrance started coming around him. So he started moving towards the fragrance, and there he saw the sandalwood trees. It was a whole jungle of sandalwood trees. Sandalwood is chandan, what we say. It is a very costly wood, very costly. So he was up with joy that, oh my God, I was only never thought tried to get inside the jungle, and I was only satisfied with those part pieces of wood which I would get in the outer parts of the jungle. I never knew that there was a chandan jungle inside. So many chandan trees, sandalwood trees, and they are very costly. So he just jumped with joy, and he collected only little amount of those uh, woods and branches and which he could carry, and he went to the market and he got 5 times the price of the wood he used to sell earlier. He was so happy, very happy. He had a good meal, he bought a good cloth for himself, and some other things he needed, and he was so happy. He thanked God. Yes, oh my God, I never thought this. Thank you, the voice from the heavens. Thank you for guiding me. So for 2 3 days he didn't go because he had enough money to survive for 2 3 days, 4 days. But after that, all that money was spent, and then he again went to that part of the jungle where of the forest where the sandalwood trees were, and he was about to pick up the broken branches of the sandalwood trees. Again he heard that voice, the same voice was asking him to, और आगे बढ़ जाओ, move forward, move forward into the jungle, move more forward. And I will cut it short because I don't want it to be a very boring story for you, because it's very long. But in this way he went further deep into the jungle, and then there he found some, you know, there was a pot, and there was some silver items put in that pot, covered in that pot, and suddenly he was like, my God, this is 50 60 times might be from these chandan trees or chandan wood. So he took that and went and got so much money that he didn't have to work for a month. He enjoyed his life. He had a good, he repaired his house. He had a good, very good food and everything he wanted, good clothes and all. But after 1 month, that money also ended. So again he went to that place where he found those silver items, and as he was searching for more silver, again that Akashvani, the voice from the heavens, came, started saying that, और आगे बढ़ जाओ, go further, move further, don't stop here, don't stop, move further. So he thought, no, I have so much of these things, and there's silver here, and I don't need to, oh, I'm satisfied with this, and but let me try. If that voice is saying, why shouldn't I try? And there he went, and he crossed and went very deep into the forest, and at the end of the forest there were little parts of, foothills starting, and there were hills of golds and diamonds and very precious stones. That was if we thought these uh, These are 100 and 1,000 times costlier than the silver. And he was amazed, and he was about to, you know, faint away. That, oh my God. And he was, there were, there was a, he was crying. It was full of, you know, thankfulness for the Almighty, that that voice always asked him to move forward. So this is a story which is half imagination or kind of 90% imagination. Doesn't matter. All the stories, most of the stories are imaginative and fiction. But what do we get from this story? This, the central idea, what we used to say, or the teaching which we get from this story is never stop, never give up, move forward, keep moving forward, and you will get better and better things in your life. Even if you fail, even if you feel weak, even if you feel tired, do not ever stop. This concept applies to our lives, to the teenagers in their studies, in their jobs, even in the business management. They teach all these things. So, this is a part, a lesson which, if we put and apply in our lives, will give us the surety to be a very, very successful person in our lives. So, move forward, don't stop. So, friends, this was the story. If you like the story, please tell me, and so that I will keep moving forward and try to tell even more stories. I have a bundle of stories which I used to listen since my childhood. So please tell me, and subscribe my channel, and comment, like, and share. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much. Bless you all. Bye.